Hey guys, it's Ginny Silver. We're doing California EDD live Q&A. I don't work for the EDD, but I will help you piece together their confusing information. I am sorry I'm late. I'm always late. I don't know why I always apologize each time. All right, you guys. So I need to get caught up with these questions here at 4 o'clock. Before I do so, the update that I have regarding Golden State stimulus. Golden State stimulus, Franchise Tax Board representative stated that last Friday, we saw that first batch of Golden State Stimulus 2 payments start to be dispersed. They're not going to do the next round until 2 more weeks. So about 2 weeks from last Friday will be when you can expect to see another round of Golden State stimulus payments. So if you did not receive yours yet, you'll have to wait 2 weeks from last Friday, and then they're going to start issuing them out every 2 weeks. So many of you let me know that the Franchise Tax Board removed their timetable of information from their website, and that's because it seems to have changed. So I'll have an update on that a little bit later. So sorry I took some time getting here. We have weird animals that we collect. We catch and release things from creeks in our backyard, etc. And our praying mantis that I was visiting for a minute and using for something in a video hopped away, and I had to get him back in his little tank. All right, you guys, I am going to get started at the questions up here at 4 o'clock. And starting right at 4, as a reminder, if I don't get to your question, I can't get all of them, so I do skip through and randomly select questions. If I don't get to your question, re-ask it every 15 minutes, please, and I'll do my best to get as many as I can. Super stickers and super chat, where you pay to have a question pop up, is turned off, so all questions are answered directly from the chat. Okay, MFAB29 at 4 o'clock. Any word on MEUC retro? I called the MEUC phone number. The reps don't have an answer either. So there's no payout date. My contact at the media department, I have asked him. He has tried to figure it out amongst his staff there, and they don't have a date. So there's no set date on when it's going to be paid out, unfortunately. All right, let's see. My computer is stalling. Give me a sec here. Chester is testing. All right, Robert Wallace at 4:01. You're very welcome. Thank you. All right, we got 4:02, Manda Panda. I haven't received my federal income tax yet, but when I do, I will get back pay for the stimulus. Will I get back pay for the stimulus I haven't gotten? Because they haven't processed my tax returns as well as child tax credit payments. Okay, so the child tax credit advance payments are going to be based on last year's tax return. If they don't have last year's tax return, then they will base it on the year prior, on 2019. However, that most likely will not accurately represent your where you're at in terms of income level, children, etc. So they do need last year's tax return to start paying out those child tax credits properly. So yes, if you did not receive the federal stimulus and you claimed it on that tax return that you did not receive that, then that would come through with your tax return as well. The Golden State stimulus, however, is dependent on you filing a tax return last year, but it's going to be paid out separately. So if you're looking for the Golden State stimulus, that's a California Franchise Tax Board payment and not a federal IRS payment. So those are going to come through separately. All right, Lauren Ashley at 4:03. Do you know why my EDD is asking for last year's weekly benefits when I applied for benefits in August 2021? Okay, so it's asking for last year's weekly benefits. I'm not sure what you're asking, Lauren Ashley. I'm sorry. EDD is asking for last year's weekly benefits. Where are they asking for that? Is there a phone interview? Is there a document? Are you trying to file a new claim and they're asking you what you received in weekly benefits? I'm not quite sure. Unfortunately, oh, there's a two-parter. Let's see if this gives more info. The UI system is having me go week to week, filling out everything starting from November 2020. Is there a way around that so I could just skip to the actual month of when I got laid off? No, once again, I'm not exactly clear on what you're asking, but if you are asking about biweekly certifications, I'm guessing that's what you're asking about. You have to fill in all of the certifications. you can't leave them blank. So no, there's no way to bypass that, unfortunately. You just have to go through all of them. Okay, hoping to hear good news. You guys, there's no news regarding extensions. There's nothing that's developing right now. I've put out a petition and I've made really clear that it's to bring attention and it's to have your voices heard and it's to send along to media outlets. I've sent it to the governor's office, etc. However, a petition is going to bring awareness to the amount of people that are in support of what it says, bring media awareness and attention, etc., and put pressure on. It's not going to actually result in them saying everything's extended because a YouTuber put out a petition. So I don't want you guys to, I want you guys to be supportive of it, but I want you guys to also be realistic that the benefits are ending. PEUC, PUA $300 boost after September 4th. So in order to see an extension, we would have to see the state of California rewrite its budget because those $27 billion from the American Rescue Plan, the state and local fund, the Treasury said that if states have remaining balance in that fund, that they could reallocate it to additional weeks of benefits for PEUC and PUA. But California, the Department of Finance sent me the report and they have all of the funds already allocated. So we would need to see either the governor or the California state legislature choose to reallocate the budget, or we would need to see action on a congressional level. So right now we have neither of those. So I really want you guys to be prepared for these benefits to end. And I know that you can't be prepared, many of you, but just I want to try to help you guys to access the additional resources that are available, like rental assistance, food aid, etc. So watch that video on my channel homepage where I share all of the additional resources. Hopefully Michael can link that in the video in the chat box. And then I'm also trying to put out a lot more content about creating your own income and creating your own work in hopes of trying to help you guys that way. All right. Praying mantises don't bite. You're right. So I was catching my loose praying mantis. He's our pet. We got him from our backyard, and we get a lot of mantises in our backyard, and we catch and release. All right, Maria, is there a way I can figure out if my Schedule C gross income matches what I put on my 2020 PUA claim application? You would need to see either your application, or you would need to see the document that they send you in the mail, which states what you earned each quarter. There's a document that they send out early on in your claim once you are first approved to confirm the income that you claimed that you had. So you would need to locate one of those. If you don't have a copy of that document that they mailed you, you can't access your application online in any way. You would need to call into customer service in order to access that. All right, let's see. Don't be scared. The mantises are gentle, is what Ocean Blue says. Yes. Yeah, we catch flies and feed it to them. Okay, Christina, hoping for good news. Yeah, I just talked on that. The benefits are ending. So you guys, please be realistic in the next steps for your plan. All right, Jen Smith at 406. Hey guys, I need help. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I have contacted my assembly member, EDDs so many's for my extension for over a month and still nothing. Okay, so the best bet is contacting your assembly member. Did they write back to you? If they didn't write back to you and you emailed them, then call into the office directly. If you called in, then email. So cover your bases that way. And they should let you know, well, they're going to take your customer account number, your social security number, have you sign a waiver, and then they should be able to follow up with the EDD. They have to have time to talk to the EDD, and then they have to have time to circle back to you. So it can take anywhere from a few days to a few weeks for the assembly members to actually get back to you. Hopefully they will be able to help you. But it sounds like maybe you're just awaiting their response. Okay, I'm at 406. I'm on PUA. How can I get my claim balance? Do I have to file again? PUA ends, the technical end date is September 6th, but in the state of California, our week ends, claim week ending September 4th, and that's your last payable week. The program does not continue beyond that. Regardless of claim balance, Congress, when they wrote the bill, when the bill was passed and signed into law, had an end date of September 6th. So the program will not continue after that as it stands now. So you will not be able to receive your additional balance on PUA. Okay, while my computer's loading, let me take a drink. Okay, covered that one. Put that one on there. Hello. Are they going to extend unemployment? Currently, no. There is no extension currently. Brianna Torres. If I have one more payment to be paid out, will I receive it before September 4th? It depends on when that payment is due to you. If you are on PEUC or PUA, you're going to be paid up until the end of claim week ending September 4th. After September 4th, you will then certify on your regular certification date. So if you're going to certify on September 5th, you'll certify that day for those weeks prior, and you'll receive that payment. Or if you certify the week later because you're on a different cycle, you will certify that week and receive the last payable week, which is claim week ending September 4th. Now, if you are reaching a $0 balance on a regular UI claim or a PEUC claim or a FedEd extension, you reach a $0 balance before September 4th, you're going to reach zero. And then about a week after hitting zero, you're going to receive an award letter for a PEUC extension. It should come automatically about a week later. A week after that, then you should be able to certify and get paid for those last weeks, including claim week ending September 4th. Keep in mind, for those of you that are just hitting a $0 balance and are just now receiving a PEUC extension award letter, the EDD, and this makes me so mad, have not updated their award letters. It is a generalized award letter that states the maximum number of weeks for the extension. It does not state it custom to your claim and how many weeks your claim has left. So if you're just now receiving a PEUC award letter and it states 13 weeks, 11 weeks, 29 weeks, that is not accurate because the programs will end September 4th. So I just want you guys to be aware of that. Okay. Let's see. I am at 4:08. Well, I was. Where did it go? All right. Sorry, guys. I have lots of things running on my computer because I was filming right before. Okay. Maria. Okay, I already did that one, Maria. All right, Ray, 409. I started having my payments go to pending since mid-July. Thankfully, my pending payments have been pushed to paid each time they go over 2 weeks in pending, but I'm nervous about. Okay, about the conditional nature of the payments. I need to pay bills, but I'm worried it might be an issue. You might be issued overpayment, paying off bills with your payments. I also have not been scheduled for a phone interview. Okay, so conditional payments, you're right. You should be slightly leery of them, but as long as you qualify, it's okay to spend that money. Conditional payments means that you are stuck in pending for over 2 weeks and you've received one or more payments on your unemployment claim previously. If so, then the EDD is required by their settlement agreement to pay you out by September 30th for your pending certifications. But it does mean that you still have to conduct whatever is needed in order to confirm your eligibility. For many of you, a phone interview is required or submitting documentation is required. So make sure you comply with that. Make sure you don't miss the phone appointment and make sure that you are, in fact, qualified to receive benefits, meaning that you are able and willing to accept full-time work and that you don't miss that phone call. Okay, Laura at 410 says, hello, EDD told me they filed for my extension 1 week ago, but my claim balance has not been switched. Is it normal to wait over a week for them to update my claim status? Yes, it can take up to 2 weeks for them to process your extension. So if you're waiting longer than 2 weeks, then that would be when I call in. Okay, Jonathan at 410, that's not John. Jonathan, I'll get you in a second. Jay Dillinger, what are the options for Joe Biden after September 6th once benefits expire? Okay, so a lot of you have been writing in the comments, why doesn't President Biden just issue an executive order. So the problem with executive orders is that the president does not have what's known as the power of the purse. He cannot deem new funding. In some cases, he can reallocate funding to a similar area budget-wise, but he cannot create brand new funding, and he cannot reallocate funds to a different area of funding. Now, Congress holds the power of the purse, so that means that anything that is going to be new funding would have to come from Congress, and an executive order has a lot of tricky things that come along with it. So you're specifically asking, what are Joe Biden's options? He can propose something to Congress, and just like we would see with any other action, that would be an option. Okay. Are they going to extend unemployment? Currently, no. Currently, there is nothing being extended. PEUC, PUA, $300 boost all come to a close after claim week ending September 4th, and Fed Ed ends after September 11th. Okay, Bobby 11. And there was one more I need to go up to, which was Jonathan. I'll do that next. Bobby 11, I heard that we can get another extension after September 6th date, but we have to apply for it. What is that, or is that just a rumor? The only other extension that remains after September 6th is one single week of Fed Ed. If you qualify for a Fed Ed extension, which means that you are a traditional W-2 earner on a UI claim, and you qualify for a Fed Ed extension, then you can collect 1 week of that, but that ends September 11th. Anything else that you have heard of being extended is not true. Okay, Jonathan at 410. What does it mean when instead of saying paid or pending, it says outstanding? Outstanding means that the EDD has mailed you out a check. So allow 1 to 2 weeks for that to arrive. All right, Dylan at 410. I just got an award letter in my inbox for 29 weeks of additional PEUC, and it says I have maximum balance of $7,200. Will I receive it all? No. And this is something that as soon as I'm done with this live, I'm going to reach out to the media department about why they are still sending these out this way. Why are they still sending these messages out this way? This is the one thing right now that makes me the one thing. There's many things that make me angry with the EDD, but the programs are ending. PEUC, PUA, $300 boost after September 4th. September 6th is the official end date. They are sending out an award letter that is a template form award letter. The programs end September 4th. So unfortunately, no, for a PEUC extension, you will not be able to collect any remaining balance. Okay, I'm at 410. I started my UI in March 1st. I have previous W-2 wages. Am I still in the 18-month window to be able to reapply? If you started in March 1st, of which year? Of 2021, you have to reach your benefit year end date. So you're going to have to get to March 1st. If you started in March 1st, 2021, you have to go a full year. After that, then you can reapply. Are they going? Okay, I already answered that one. Unfortunately, no, there is not a current extension. All right, Alma at 410. I have been waiting since April now and no payment. I'm still certifying, but no resolution with assembly members. What is going to happen after September 4th for regular UI claims? So regular UI claims is the state unemployment benefit program. That will continue on as usual. That is not pandemic related. Regular UI claims are a duration of 26 weeks. So that is going to continue. Now, for any of you that are stuck in pending, that are trying to get issues resolved for weeks that are before September 4th, and you're worried about the program ending, you are still entitled to those payments. Even if the EDD does not pay them out by September 4th, they are 4 effective weeks during the program's active period. So you're still going to be entitled to receive those payments. Now, you are, you're currently working with your assembly member. So yes, continue working with your assembly member and await those to come out. Okay, Sam at 410. I was disqualified in December. They asked me to send in my ID. which I did, and they still disqualified me. I know the EDD is going to reconsider people that are disqualified. Will my account be included? So if you're disqualified in December and it's an ID issue, that's different than the PUA reassessment that I did a video on recently. The EDD sent out a notification in UI Online in the inbox, as well as language that they added to their PUA section of their website, stating that if you're PUA and you selected a valid COVID-related reason for your certifications for being unemployed and you were denied, then or if that reason wasn't listed back when they didn't have it updated yet, and you were denied, then there will be a button that comes to your dashboard at the end of September to have those weeks reassessed. Now, you had an ID verification issue. That is not the same issue. I can't say 100% for sure if that button will appear for your claim or not, but it's a different issue. I would contact the EDD directly or contact your assembly member directly. Michael can drop the links of how to contact the EDD in the chat box, all of the tips so that you can get through faster. All right. Galila at 411. I'm waiting on an interview and have not been paid for weeks. Is there a way to receive my payment during the waiting period? Yes. So EDD is required to issue what's known as conditional payments. They're required by a class action settlement to pay out pending certifications while you wait for the interview by September 30th. So they have up until September 30th to do so. They will pay these out conditionally as long as you have been pending for over 2 weeks and you have received one payment on your claim or more before, i.e. it's not a brand new claim. So if you don't want to or cannot wait until September 30th for those to come through, then I would contact your assembly member. Michael can drop the link on how to do that in the chat box, and they will most likely be able to help you get paid. Okay. Will I get back pay for the California stimulus if I file my 2020 taxes this week? So the Golden State stimulus has an October deadline for filing your taxes. October 15th is the deadline in which you have to file your California income taxes by in order to qualify to receive the Golden State stimulus. So yes, you will qualify if you file your taxes this week. Yes. Okay, 412. My husband hasn't been paid since November 2020. Okay, your husband will need to contact the EDD or contact an assembly member. So Michael can drop all the tips in the chat box on all the tips to get through. All right, Jason at 412. Why have I been pending for 24 months? 2 years? I think you mean weeks. They say I'm under review. They won't tell me why. They say I have to seek a tier 2 associate, but they out me on M. Okay, so I think what you mean to say is that you've been pending for a long time. So I want you to contact your assembly member. And Michael, I think, just dropped the link in the chat box. Contact your assembly member. So click that link, locate your assembly member's office, and go to their website. Most assembly members will have some sort of EDD claimant area because they receive so many claimants that need help. So contact their office and see if they are able to help you. They're going to ask you for your customer account number and your social security number and probably have you sign a waiver. And then they will be able to communicate with their EDD liaison on your behalf, and they will get back to you. So it's been very helpful for many in order to get their pending pushed to paid. All right, Michael at 413. I just contacted my assembly member's office. Their EDD liaison told them that I have a pending determination interview on my account regarding my previous employment. Could I be denied? You could, but it depends on if you're eligible or not. So if your previous employer terminated you and it was not due to a COVID-related reason and it wasn't something that was no fault of your own, then you wouldn't be eligible for benefits. So that if that's the case, if you were terminated due to something like misconduct, etc., then you wouldn't be eligible. But as long as you are eligible, they may just need to clear something up with them. or obtain information from them. Okay, Kaneda at 413. Mine says disaster assistance and UI. Claim ends on September 4th. Can I continue to receive my regular unemployment if I still have a balance? If so, do I need to reapply? Okay, so yours says disaster assistance. That is PUA. Your end date also tells me that you're PUA because it ends September 4th. PUA is pandemic unemployment assistance, and it ends after claim week ending September 4th. The program will cease to exist. You will not be able to collect your balance on a PUA claim after that because Congress has the end date set in the bill text to expire September 6th. So no, you can't collect that remaining balance. What you could potentially collect if you qualify would be if you, you mentioned that you also had a UI claim at some point. So if you've reached the end of 12 months worth of benefits, the end of your benefit year, and you have received wages, employee wages, not self-employment income, within the last 18 months, then you might qualify for a brand new UI claim. UI, regular unemployment, is going to continue on because that's the regular state unemployment benefits. It'll continue on, and a UI claim, a new one, will be 26 weeks in duration. So if you worked, your benefit year expired, and you worked and earned wages within the last 18 months, then you could potentially file a new UI claim. All right, Julie Mitchell at 413. My online claim account says I'm disqualified, but yet they're telling me to certify every week. I'm confused. What do I do? You need to figure out the reason for disqualification. Why are you being disqualified? Check and see if it's a benefit year issue. Look at your claim start date in UI Online and count 12 months out. Are you beyond a year's worth of benefits? If yes, then you need to file a new claim if you worked within the last 18 months, and that could be a reason for denial. If it's not that, then you need to contact customer service because only they will be able to tell you the reason for disqualification so that you can start to hopefully resolve it. So Michael is dropping call tips in the chat box. Use them or contact your assembly member if you cannot get through. All right, Urel at 413. What happens if I make my back pay claim before 409? I think you mean, okay, so I think you mean September 4th. But the date arrives and they still have not given me an answer. If you file it, take a screenshot of it so that you have a time-stamped record that you submitted it on time. They should continue to process it because you submitted it on time, and it should be retroactively paid. The EDD will continue to pay out weeks that are owed after the program end date, as long as they are for those eligible weeks within that time frame before the program ended. So submit your backdating request as soon as possible, screenshot it, and then wait for them to pay you, and yes, they will continue to pay out. All right, Amelia at 413. The certify supposed to be September 11th. Okay, I'm gonna guess. If you're certifying September 11th, many of you are worried because you're certifying after the program ends. The program ends after September 4th. Can you certify at a later date? Yes, you are able to certify on your regular certification schedule because you're certifying for eligible weeks that were within that. So you're certifying for claim week ending September 4th, regardless of when you certify for it, as long as it's within that period before your claim closes, 30 days, then you are going to be paid for that week. So yes, you'll be able to certify. Okay, I automatically receive benefits under my regular unemployment claim. I don't know what you mean. You'll have to re-ask it down a little later in the chat, and I'll try again. Okay, 413. I have an interview with EDD about my unemployment. Do you know what they may ask? They're going to most likely be checking for your eligibility. So in most cases, they're going to kind of confirm questions that were already asked on your application. Why did you leave work? Were you terminated? Is it a COVID-related reason? Are you available and willing to accept full-time work? And you need to say yes. Are you looking for work, etc.? So they're going to be asking those questions. Okay, 413 from Guru. If we just received UI for the year 2020, do we qualify for the second $500 with dependents? Okay, so here's the thing. I did Golden State Stimulus videos back when the Golden State Stimulus 2 bill text was just passed. Okay, so several months ago I did it, and I screenshotted the Franchise Tax Board's information on Golden State Stimulus. At that point in time, several months back, the Franchise Tax Board stated that you had to have some form of wages. What the Franchise Tax Board, let me show you on screen. Hold on. Let me share my screen. What the Franchise Tax Board now states is that you must have had, probably not going to be able to find it now, you must have had $0. Here it is. $0 to $75,000 for tax year 2020 in wages. So the AGI up here, your AGI, adjusted gross income, has to be $1 to $75,000. AGI includes unemployment benefits, except for the first $10,200 of your unemployment benefits, because those were forgiven from your taxes. So if you earned over $10,200 worth of unemployment benefits, then you would have some of that in your AGI, so you would qualify there. Then they go on to say wages of $0 to $75,000. This is different than how it used to be several months ago when they first put up their Golden State Stimulus page. This is different. This says wages of $0. I don't want to promise you that you will receive it, but wages of $0, you have wages of $0 if you only collected unemployment. So it does seem to be that they have changed this, and that those of you that just had unemployment benefits, as long as you had $1 in AGI, which can come from unemployment benefits, as long as you had over $10,200 of unemployment benefits, then you would qualify. And that's a confusing answer, but it's a confusing program. I already answered that one. All right, scrolling down. Let's see. I have an interview with EDD. Okay, I already got that one. 414, can you please break down this EDD payment? $450 plus $300 per week. What does this mean on the 4th? I lose all of this. I do not know your claim type, so I cannot tell you if you will continue to collect benefits. The programs that are ending after September 4th are PEUC, PUA, the $300 boost. The program that is continuing is regular unemployment insurance, UI. So you need to check your program type. You're going to go to your UI online dashboard, and in the top menu area, you're going to click on history. There, you're going to click on the most recent paid transaction, and then you are going to see the program type. If it's listed as UI, but if it's listed as UI, then you are going to continue to collect your claim until your balance goes all the way down to 0, because UI does not end. But if you are noted as disaster assistance, which is how PUA is noted, PEUC, Tier 2 augmentation, then you're going to end September 4th. And if you're noted as Fed Ed, you will end after September 11th. Okay. Do I need to reapply, or will I automatically receive benefits under my regular? Okay, I already answered that one. This is a repeat. Mike O'Donnell at 415. Week ending 8/28 pending for me. How about anyone else? Okay, so 8/28 is pending. Today is Wednesday, and you certified on Sunday. Usually if it's pending for over 2 business days, then you might want to contact the EDD. You can wait, and conditional payments will eventually pay that out by September 30th if you don't want to call in. But it sounds like you're going to maybe give it one more day just to be sure, and then contact the EDD, and Michael can drop all of the call tips. Okay, Steve at 415. I have backdated my claim twice now, but I kept getting a response that information doesn't match. Please tell me the date they will accept. I've done a lot of videos on this, you guys, including a recent video called Backdating Full Guide. Michael, can you link that video? Just go to my channel homepage, grab the Backdating Full Guide video, and drop the link in the chat box. That goes through everything in depth. There is not a magical date, you guys, that's going to be approved for all of you because your claims and your wage history and your self-employment history is all different. In general, if you see information mismatch, then that is not something that's kind of a systematic error, and you will most likely need to call into customer service in order to fix it. If you are seeing that your date has been rejected because it falls outside of backdating parameters, or they state another reason, then most likely it is because either you submitted a date that is not approvable. So if you applied 12/27 or later, you can apply to backdate potentially as early as 12/6. What's happening with this hand? It's like waiting for a handshake. If you applied 12/26 or earlier, then you can potentially backdate as early as 2/2, but it can get rejected for a lot of reasons, such as your wages in the new base period were extremely different and it changes your claim, or if it's over 15 months long that you're trying to backdate, then the EDD can also reject it based on that. So watch the Backdating Full Guide video, and Michael has now linked it in the chat. So for those of you that are all wondering about backdating, please go watch that video. Okay. Scrolling down, as a reminder, I cannot get all the questions. I do skip around and randomly select questions. So if I don't get yours, please re-ask it every 15 minutes. Okay, 417, Adriana. Each date should we or I apply again for my regular unemployment again? It ends 9/4. How many days do I have to wait? Okay, if you were UI, or you had regular employee wages within the last 18 months, once you reach the end of your benefit year, a full year's worth of benefits, then you can file a new claim when your claim ends. So if you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, look at your claim start date 12 months after that. As long as you worked and earned income within the last 18 months, you may qualify for a new claim. So you can file a new claim at the end of your benefit year. Now, if you're collecting PUA, or and the program ends, you cannot file a new PUA claim because the program ends. But if you're PUA and you earned wages as an employee within the last 12 months, then you can file for a regular unemployment claim when that ends. Okay, what about Fed Ed? What about it? Fed Ed ends September 11th. Okay. Oops, that's my moderator. All right, I am at hold on. I'm at 428. Melanie, why have some of the pending weeks disappeared from my list? Okay, if you are missing pending weeks, I can't tell you why. I could guess maybe you're in between two different claims and you had a claim that expired and then you filed a new claim. And those weeks maybe didn't disappear, but they moved to not paid. That would be because you certified on an old expired claim. That would be one example of why they might move to not being paid instead of being pending. But in general, if you're missing weeks or if weeks go from pending to not paid or disqualified, you do have to contact the EDD or your assembly member in order to get help in recouping those weeks. So Michael can drop the call tips in the chat box, 134 trick, using Claimer if you need to get through. And my link saves $5, or contacting your assembly member, which is free. Okay, let's see. Ron at 429, is PUA retroactive? Just got awarded 86 weeks. Okay, so PUA will end September 6th, and the last payable week in California is claim week ending September 4th. So after that, the program will end. Can you backdate your PUA claim? Yes, if you qualify for backdating. So Michael just grabbed the backdating video link, and you can click that link and watch all the information there. Apply for backdating on askedd.edd.ca.gov. You were just awarded your claim, So you can only backdate your PUA claim as early as 12/6 if it is applicable to your claim and if it's approved. Okay, let's see. Mike D, can Governor Newsom give us unemployment extension from the state funds? Okay, so here's the thing is that these are federal level programs. PEUC and PUA are federal programs. Sorry. So the state cannot decide how to operate a federal program. What the states have been allowed to do, according to the Secretary of Treasury and Secretary of Labor, an issued statement from the White House as well, is that if a state has remaining funds in their American Rescue Plan Act state and local fund, which is a specific amount of federal funds issued to the states for pandemic reasons, then the state can choose to allocate those funds to additional weeks of PEUC and PUA. California does not have any remaining funds in that specific fund. The Department of Finance, I contacted them. They sent me the proper publication. That publication and my contact there told me that all $27 billion in those funds have already been allocated to other relief programs. So currently, there is nothing that can be reallocated there unless something goes through the California state legislature in terms of changing that budget and reallocating it. Okay, Boss Hassam at 431. I've been pending since 7/11 with no message about being under review. My payments just stopped. Okay, so 7/10 was, hold on. 7/10 was the start of a new quarter, the first full unemployment week payout in the start of a new quarter. What EDD does is if you've been receiving unemployment benefits for over a year, they put you in a new quarter wage review and they put you in pending, but they don't tell you why. And then you have to get a hold of EDD customer service and they will have to ask you a few simple questions over the phone and then you will move from pending to paid. So contact the EDD, call customer service, use all the call tips that Michael can share, or contact your assembly member. Okay, Joseph at 431. If EDD tells the assemblyman that original PUA claim 1.5 years ago was with provided false information and it is getting a determination and it can't be right, what do we do? Let me try again. Okay, so your PUA claim was created with, so you're getting a false statement and you're denied. Okay, so what can you do? You're going to have to undergo the appeals process for that. So on that determination letter that you receive, there is going to be a document that says if you want to file an appeal, if you don't agree with this statement, then you can file this appeal. That's where you provide all of your information, documentation to support that you do qualify, and they will schedule you an appointment with an appeals hearing judge. It is a long process, and many report that it can take up to the neighborhood of 6 months. So make sure that you want to start that process before you begin it. So I would make sure first, before you start that process, that you contact the EDD, make sure you are clear that there's nothing that they can do, contact your assembly member and make sure that you're good there, and then you will want to file an appeal. Okay, Sage at 431. Let's see. If you need optional resources beyond workers' comp, you should look up Rainbow Resource Directory. It's a list of all welfare programs in California. Thank you for sharing that. I have not shared that resource, and I will definitely look it up. So for those of you that want to check it out, Sage says Rainbow Resource Directory. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Amelia at 431. I have more balance in my PUC, and next scheduled to certify is September 11th. But the message is September 4th to certify. I want to know if I'm qualified on September 11th. Okay, you are only qualified to collect payments for PEUC until September 4th. You can't receive any additional payouts beyond that week because the program does end. Okay, Francisco at 4:32. I started my UI of previous W-2 wages in March 2020. My benefit year ends September 5th. Can I reapply due to the 18-month window? Okay, so if you started in March 1st, 2020, you are over 1 year's worth of benefits, and you have earned wages within the last 18 months, yes. Well, hold on. It says that your benefit year ends September 5th. Okay, so once your benefit year ends, then you can file a new claim. So yes, just wait until after September 5th, and then you can file a new claim. Okay, can I still apply for PUA with back pay? And if so, is there a link? Yes, you can still apply for PUA, and you can still backdate your claim. I would not wait any longer. I'd make sure you do it right away. The area to apply, the website to apply is edd.ca.gov. Okay, let me just fix this because it's getting dark. Okay, Yolanda at 4:33. I've already contacted Assembly member and they don't know what to do. Self-employed individuals provided the gross income we were asked for. We weren't asked for a net income. So on the application, it does ask for net income, the online application. And I have a screenshot of that in my original video, which I filmed the day that the application was released. And I do show on screen that it states net income. So it did ask for net. Now there is a possibility that perhaps there were two versions of the online application. Maybe yours was different than mine, but what I have in terms of screenshot does say net. So if you're asking your assembly member, they don't know what to do, you're going to need to seek out an overpayment waiver from the EDD. So you're going to need to ask for access to an overpayment waiver. The EDD has not advertised that this is available, but I did learn through a Zoom meeting with Daniela Urban from the Center for Workers' Rights. She's the one that had the class action lawsuit with EDD, resulting in conditional payments. She told me that overpayment waivers are available and are being granted. So I want you to contact the EDD and ask them for an overpayment waiver. And then you can try asking your assembly member for that specifically as well. Okay, Mark at 4:33. Is the additional 1 week Fed Ed benefit applied automatically to eligible UI and PEUC accounts? Yes. It should be applied automatically, but what you do need to be prepared for is that usually when a claim is transferred to a new extension, it can usually take up to 2 weeks for them to apply that extension. So I would anticipate it taking quite a while, maybe even longer than 2 weeks, because they're going to be applying this extension for just 1 week to a massive amount of claimants all at once. So yes, it should be automatic, but anticipate to wait. Okay, J&M, 4:33. I waited 2 months to get my pending interview determination eligibility from EDD. They called me 10 days sooner than what I was scheduled for and got paid after 2 hours. Okay, I'm very glad that you got paid, and I'm glad you did not miss that phone call. Yes, the EDD doesn't keep their phone appointments always. Sometimes they call with no appointment. Sometimes they cancel your appointment, or sometimes they call early or from a weird different number than what it should be. So please be on the lookout for those. Okay. Tony at 4:34. I haven't been paid for 5 weeks. I'm stuck on pending. Okay. So as long as you have received one unemployment payout previously on your claim and you've been pending for over 2 weeks, which you are, then the EDD is required to issue you what's called a conditional payment by September 30th. That means that they have to pay you, but they may still need to do a phone interview or collect other information to fix the actual reason why you're pending. So make sure you don't miss that phone interview. If you don't want to wait until September 30th, because most likely you don't, then contact either the EDD directly or your assembly member and ask them if they can push through conditional payments for your pending weeks. And Michael can drop the links to help you call, as well as your assembly member. Okay, Steve at 4:34. I backdated twice. I just got a message from EDD not quite so long ago that my information does not match their records. Followed all your videos for backdating and yet denied. Okay, information doesn't match their records is an error on their end. Something that you are entering about yourself is not lining up in their system with your account. So it could be a personal error that maybe you're entering in something incorrectly, such as your birthday, your address, etc., or it can be an error on their end. So I would call into EDD in order to get that fixed. Resubmitting again online isn't going to fix that problem, unfortunately. You will have to call in. Okay, Mimi at 4:34. I had to reopen my claim during PUA. EDD added a whole bunch more questions. Which questions would be likely to disqualify me? So in order to collect benefits, you have to be able and willing to accept full-time work. You cannot, you have to be healthy enough to work. So you can't say that you're injured or too sick. And you have to have a qualifying COVID-related reason for your unemployment. So any of the COVID-related reasons from that long list will qualify you. It has to be pandemic-related. All right, Elizabeth at 4:35. The lady on the phone said it didn't matter if I earned wages in 18 months, that they count a year back. So EDD states online on their benefit year end page that if you earned wages within the last 18 months, enough to qualify, that you should file a new claim. So that's what EDD states. Now, it has to be enough wages within a 12-month period within those 18 months. So EDD does need to issue a more clear statement on this because they do have some information that is not quite congruent with what they say. But if it's a 12-month period and you've earned at least $1,400 or more, any time within that 18-month period, because you can establish an alternate base period other than those 12 months, they can take it a little further back, then you should qualify. But what will not qualify you is $1,400 spread across 18 months because it's a 12-month period within that time frame. Okay, Rose at 4:35. Will I be approved for new UI benefits once since my claim ends with only 12 months of UI and PEUC income and 6 months of W-2 wages? Okay, so your claim year is going to end. Will it be approved with 6 months of W-2 earnings? Possibly. It depends on how much you earned. In order to qualify within a year's time frame, you have to have earned $1,400. So file a new claim or use the benefit calculator after your year ends to see. All right, Tyler at 4:35. My payments have stopped since last Sunday. They have told me that I need to call a different department in regards of a Fed Ed stop payment alert. Okay, SPA, or they call it SPA, is stop payment alert. That means that there's something triggered in their system that put a hold on your payment. It can be how you certify. It can be information that they need to obtain from you, etc. So if you have a stop payment alert on your claim and you're stuck in pending for that, then you need to, they should be able to fix that through customer service. So I'm not sure why they're telling you to contact a different department. What they should do is they should take your phone call at customer service and they should transfer you to a tier 2 representative. So you may have just gotten a claim rep that was very new or not very helpful. So call in again to customer service. Tell them that you need to be transferred to a tier 2 representative. Alternatively, if you don't want to call back into customer service, you can contact your assembly member and Michael can drop the link in the chat box. Anthony, you're very welcome. Okay. Hi, Shelly. I see you're in here. Shelly says, can I take a minute to shout out to all the assembly members who have been so helpful, with special thanks to Lorena Gonzalez? Yes. Many of them have been very helpful in getting people paid. Okay. Scrolling down. There's Shelly again. Not driving yet, but apparently your lives are my new tunes on my commute. Well, that's irritating. Just me droning on about the same questions you hear all day. Okay. 68 Charger. At 4:37 on my EDD account under certification received. It says it has been received. For what week? 110 to, so January. Okay. And that one still isn't processed. All right. You can call into customer service or you can contact your assembly member. That one definitely should be paid out. All right. I love podcasts at 4:37. Has the governor said anything on extensions? Awesome idea on that petition. No. As of the last time I checked the news, the governor's newsroom, his most recent speaking engagements, etc., there has been no statement made. I contacted the governor's office 3 different ways, and they, of course, haven't replied. They're not going to reply to me, but I try anyway. So no, there is no information there. Okay. 4:37. There it is. What happens when EDD issues an overpayment waiver? Do they waive the negative balance or issue a check or both or something else? So if you are issued an overpayment, you have to pay back benefits and you apply for an overpayment waiver. If that overpayment waiver is granted to you, it means that the overpayment that they issued, saying that you had to pay back a certain amount, is gone. So you no longer would have to pay back that amount of benefits. Okay, DT Godson, I've been pending. They said for wages and need an interview, but I received paper in mail last week to send my wages. I sent in a check stubs, so will I have to wait for an interview if I mailed it in? Okay, yes, you do. So mailing in documents, did they ask you for that? So it doesn't seem like you received a paper in the mail last week asking you to send in your wages. Okay, so you mailed in that document. I can't say if they're going to also need to interview you or if it will be processed once they receive it. It's all independently dependent. It depends on your independent claim. So once you have sent it in, I would allow 2 weeks for them to process it. If nothing has happened after 2 weeks, then I would follow up the EDD with your assembly member. But you are going to be receiving a conditional payment on that by September 30th. So you can either wait or you can follow up after you give them a little bit of time to process. Okay. 439. Will I still receive my regular unemployment and not the $300? If you are in fact on program type unemployment, UI, regular unemployment claim, then yes, you will continue to receive those benefits for your 26-week claim. That program doesn't end. That's the statewide unemployment benefit program, so it will continue. What ends is PEUC, PUA, and the $300 boost. Okay, so can we certify this week on PUA? Yes, you can. You will be certifying for claim week ending September 4th on either the 5th or your regular certification date. It doesn't matter that that's after the program ends because you're certifying for a claim week that was within the program date. All right, Guru, 441. You're very welcome. Our question was answered through. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, my email at 441. You're very welcome. After 7 weeks stuck in pending, I called my state rep yesterday, and then I got an email an hour and a half later from EDD that payments have been processed and you got your money. I'm really glad to hear that. And I remember that in my last live stream, I talked to you about that. I'm really glad to hear that. Are we getting paid for this week? Yes, you are. You will be receiving payment after you certify for claim week ending September 4th. All right, Nate the Great at 441. I was pending for 6 weeks and was paid today. This isn't the first time this happened. I sent them 10 messages and never got a response. Yes, you will, in most cases, not receive a response from the UI online contact message. And if you do, it will either be a response that is not that helpful and very generic, or it will come in months later. Back when I was a claimant, way back in April, I remember April of 2020, I've not collected in a long time. I sent a message, and then I remember 6 months later, I got a response on it, and it was a generic link to information. If you're stuck in pending, over 2 weeks and you've received a payment on your claim before, then you're going to receive a conditional payment, meaning EDD will automatically process your pending to paid by September 30th. But for those of you that are still pending that don't want to wait till September 30th, and you probably don't, contact the EDD customer service using the phone tips or contact your assembly member. Shelly's Millions, do you wear false eyelashes in your videos? I do. I do. If my last pay is on the 5th, will I be paid the $300 on that 2 weeks? Yes, you will. The last week, that $300 will be applied to your balance, to your payouts, will be claim week ending September 4th. 442, how did my weekly amount go up when I reapplied if it should be the same job? So they're going to base your claim on the 12 months worth of income in most cases prior to your start of your new claim. So there was something different about that. Even if it's the same job, whatever you earned each quarter is taken into account and they recalculate you based on that. Okay, Angelica at 442. That's not Angelica, that's Michael. Angelica, hello, I have a question. Is a Golden State stimulus for any dependent, even adult dependents? Yes, adult dependents qualify, but the dependent $500 additional for Golden State stimulus is a one-time flat payment. It's not per dependent, but yes, adult dependents do qualify. Okay, I'm at 442. EDD is not accepting calls. What should I do? Michael is going to drop all the links. You can use the 134 phone tip if you want to redial over and over again yourself. This still works for people, but you do have to redial it. You can utilize a third-party service if you want to pay to get a hold line sent to you called Claimer, and my link saves you $5 on that. Or you can use my 25 phone numbers to call the EDD video. You can try calling all the different branch offices, or if you need to call the ID department or tech support, those numbers are in there too. Or you can contact your assembly member if you cannot get through, and your assembly member is able to help you communicate with the EDD on your behalf. All right, Michelle at 443. Has anyone received the follow-up notification to comply with the new eligibility notification EDD sent out? I do not believe that I have heard anyone receive that follow-up email yet. But if you have, you guys, please let me know in the chat. Judy at 443. I can't log in. When I try to reset, it asks me a question I did not have originally. My assembly member asked then to reset, and it keeps asking me what my father's occupation is. I didn't have a father. Okay, most likely in that case, you're entering in an incorrect email address in order to try to log in. So I would double check that, but if you know for certain that that is not the problem, then I would call EDD tech support. I wouldn't call customer service first. I would try tech support. That phone number can be located in my 25 phone numbers to call EDD video, which Michael can drop the link. All right. You just hear loud sounds downstairs. All right, 443. Sorry, my husband's like roughhousing with the kids and I just hear loud screams. 443, would extension tier 2 augmentation end? Yes. Tier 2 augmentation is the third phase of the PEUC extension. PEUC and all of its phases end after claim week ending September 4th. So yes, that one will end. Okay, Ron at 443, I was just awarded PUA for 86 weeks. Will I be paid past September? No, and this makes me so angry that the EDD still does this. They send out a generic form letter regardless of your unique claims information. PUA in total is available for up to 86 weeks, but the program ends September 6th. The last payable week is claim week ending September 4th. So no, you will not be able to receive all of those weeks. What you can potentially do if you qualify is to backdate your PUA claim if you were unemployed due to the pandemic at an earlier date. Because you were just awarded this, the earliest that you can backdate is going to be December 6th. I'm wondering if you guys are hearing the intense loud sounds in my house downstairs. Okay. Mike O'Donnell at 444. Thank you for the response. I can't wait to get back to photographing again in the SFAR. Well, Mike, maybe I'll run into you because I'm a wedding photographer. And those are areas where I shoot. Okay, LeBron at 444. Ginny, your videos are so helpful. You've helped us get through most, if not all, of the issues with UI payments. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You do not owe me, though. You guys have been supportive of my channel. It's we have a symbiotic relationship here on my channel. I provide you guys with information. I advocate for you. I try to get helpful info out. You guys support my channel, and that supports me. So I'm really appreciative of you guys as well. All right, Maria at 444. What if I'm regular unemployment? Will I get the $300 for this week of September? Yes, you will, but the last week that you will see that $300 boost added is going to be claim week ending September 4th. Okay, I am at, hold on, while that's loading, I'm going to check over here. Sorry, guys, I wanted to read something that was there. All right, 501, what happens when EDD issues an overpayment waiver? I already answered this question. Do they waive the negative balance? They remove the overpayment from your account, meaning you don't have to pay that amount. If you already paid into the overpayment, then they should issue those payments back. Okay, Jamal, do you put the mailing or residential address when backdating? You're going to put whatever lines up with your claim information. So whatever address you used when you applied is what you will use. Okay, let's see. I'm at 501. I was continued my Fed Ed, the PEUC. Then I got tons of different answers and have never been able to resolve the fact I should have received a new claim. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what you're saying here. There's another statement, but let me see if this clarifies it. In that past 18-month period, I had earned over $17,000. I need help to solve the issue. Okay, so if you were on PEUC, Fed Ed, and then you went to PEUC, but you should be awarded a new claim. Did you file a new claim? You're required to file a new claim yourself. It's not done automatically. So if you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date, and you did earn income, then you have to file that new claim yourself, and you should have been awarded that new claim based on that income. If you did all of that and something did not come through on EDD's end, then I would contact your assembly member in order to try to get it straightened out, and Michael can drop the link on how to locate your assembly member. All right, 502. Hi, Jenny. Earlier this year, EDD stopped paying many people in the month January and February. It went on until March. Many people eventually get to certify and get pay for those 2 months, not for me. Okay, so if you have gaps or they're stuck in pending or they're listed as not paid, then you need to contact the EDD directly or contact your assembly member. Casey at 502. Hi, Ginny. I'm regular UI after being approved for a new claim 6 months ago when my year was up. I still have 6 months left on my claim year, but the balance will be zero next week. Will it replenish? No. So UI claims are 26 weeks, and then they go down to a $0 balance. If you reach a $0 balance before September 4th, then you will be awarded the next phase of the PEUC extension, which would be the first one. But if you're not going to reach a $0 balance until next week, PEUC ends September 4th. No, your balance will not be replenished because the extension will have ended. The only other thing that you could qualify for would be one remaining week of Fed Ed. Fed Ed is going to end September 11th, though. So because your benefit year, when is your benefit year? You have 6 months left of your benefit year. You will not be able to file a new UI claim until you reach the end of 12 months worth of having your claim open. So no, unfortunately, you won't be able to collect benefits beyond September 11th if you qualify for that 1 extra week of Fed Ed. Okay, Joey at 504. When I first went on unemployment back in March 2020, I had to serve 3 weeks of penalty pay from a previous disqualification, but federal government wasn't giving out the extra $600 at that time. They were giving it out. Can I get that money? No. You weren't qualified to receive benefits, and in order to receive the federal boost, both the $300 and the $600, you have to be qualified to receive at least $1 in unemployment payouts. So if you didn't qualify for unemployment benefits, then you don't qualify to receive the boost that goes with those benefits. Andrea at 504, why did my question disappear? Your question didn't disappear, but there's no way for me to get all of the questions. I have to skip around. Well, your question could have disappeared if you re-asked it many times and spammed the chat, and then Michael removed it because that's his job. But re-ask your question, and maybe I'll get to it this time. All right, BA at 504, 821, 828 weeks certified on Sunday, still says pending. What should I do? Okay, first off, make sure that you're not at the end of your benefit year. UI, PEUC, Fed Ed, 12 months after your claim start date. If you earned enough income within the last 18 months to qualify a new claim, then you have to file a new claim, and that would be why you're pending. If that's not the reason, then you're going to need to call customer service or your assembly member in order to try to figure out why you are pending. All right, Ed at 505, will I receive back pay from my claim after September 4th if I still have a balance and have already backdated and still have not reached my benefit year? If you qualify for back pay and you file for back pay, then yes, you would be entitled to receive those retroactive payments. All right, Lele at 505. I have not been able to certify for the missing month of January and February. Okay. Was that a point in time when your claim expired and you didn't file a new claim? If so, then if that's the reason or if it's a different reason, you're going to need to contact customer service. So Michael's going to, unless he recently has, he's going to share the call tips, how to use Claimer, how to use the 134 trick, the 25 phone numbers to call, as well as the assembly members' contact information. All right, Mimi at 505 says, examples of reasons to ask to get transferred to a Tier 2 representative. If the person that answers the phone can't help you with your claim, then ask to be transferred to a Tier 2 representative. There's some things that can't be solved with a call into customer service, such as if you have a brand new claim, you can't get paid for those first up to 3 weeks while you're in UISD review. No one can fix that at customer service. You have to wait it out. There's a few things like that, but if the customer service rep isn't helpful or if they're not able to fix your account, then you'd ask to be transferred to a Tier 2 representative. The customer service rep should know to do that automatically, but unfortunately, there's a wide discrepancy in their training levels. They don't all know everything. So if they are not helpful, then ask to be transferred. Okay, Manny Maker at 505. My PEUC is done. I have claim balance $0, even though my benefit year says 11/2020 to on extension. My question is, do I have to let EDD know once I have a job and start getting paid? Okay, there's kind of two different questions here though. Do you have to let them know? No, you can simply stop certifying and then that will close out your account and put it into dormant. And then you can click the reopen claim button if you should be unemployed again in the near future. If your claim balance 0 and you're needing to collect because you don't yet have a job, then you should receive an automatic extension within 2 weeks of hitting 0. And that extension will only last until claim week ending September 4th if it's PEUC. Okay, I already did that one. Omar at 506, EDD never back up my claim to the real effective date of my extension, 12/26. They filed late on March. Is that too late to fix? So if they're filing you an extension and they filed it late and it's their fault, it's not the issue of you needing to file a new claim yourself, then I would think that you would be entitled to those weeks. You should be entitled to those weeks. So I would contact EDD, customer service, see if they can help you. If not, then I would contact your assembly member and see if they are able to work with the EDD on your behalf. All right, David T at 507. EDD will accept new PUA claim applications for 30 days after this date, so long as you are applying for, yes, that's correct. So PUA, and I've done a few videos about this. PUA ends September 4th, but if you have not yet applied for a PUA, you have until October 6th to still file your application, and then you can backdate that application. That doesn't mean that you're going to get paid for weeks after September 4th. It's just you're applying retroactively for those backdated weeks. But I do not recommend waiting. Try to do it right away. All right, Lindsay at 507. After September 6th, are we eligible to revert back to regular UI if we received an award letter back in March 2021 when we had to reapply? You're very welcome. Yes. So it is known as the DNCP, Deferred New Claim Program. That means that you had to file a new claim because your regular UI, you were awarded a new claim, but it was for a lesser amount. So the EDD set that claim aside and deferred it. They continued paying you out on extension weeks. Once the programs end, then EDD will automatically apply that deferred claim that you were already approved for to your account. So it should be done automatically. Shelly, that's what brand? Shelly, it's like the cheapest thing from Amazon. I'll send you it, but it's nothing impressive. Okay, Omar, 509. I've tried reaching out to different assembly members via email and no answer back. I've been stuck for 8 weeks now and can't get a hold of anyone. Should I just wait until September 30th? Did you email your assembly member? Because you only have one assembly member. If you're emailing random assembly members and they won't reply, but make sure to use the link that Michael can drop in the chat box and apply to your specific district. So if you apply to your specific, you send in a contact form to your specific district and they don't reply, then call their office. And if you aren't able to get a hold of them from calling and emailing, then what I would do is I would either wait till September 30th for those conditional payments if they apply to you, or you can continue to try to contact EDD yourself using all the call tips that we've been providing in the chat. Okay. Sam, that's not Sam. I already read that one. Samuel at 510. My card failed to deliver and I called B of A. They're asking me to come to the bank for verification and I don't have any B of A in my state and I already have $19,500 on the card after backdating. Okay, you moved out of the state of California, but you're still collecting. So you should have notified the EDD of your address change. Did you notify the EDD of your address change? If yes, then I would call Bank of America and tell them that you have moved out of state. EDD can validate your address change. Bank of America should also have that address change on file, so they shouldn't require you to come in person. I would contact your assembly member if you're not able to get help from Bank of America in that case. Okay, Brenda, I haven't been paid since December 2020. Currently pending. Changed from PUS and PEIC. Well, neither of those are right. I think you mean PUA and PEUC. Maybe. EDD can't tell me what's going on in my case. Please help me. Okay, first off, you need to figure out your claim type. If you need to know your claim type, you're going to go into UI Online, click on the History tab, and look at the most recent paid transaction and look at the program code. I think you're saying that you were PUA and then moved to PEUC, but I'm not sure. I haven't been paid since December. if you're pending, you're going to need to contact your assembly member. So Michael can drop that link in the chat box. Contact your assembly member, and they most likely will be able to help you figure out either more information or get you from pending to paid. Okay, I am at 5:15. Hi, Ginny. I'm UI. My last payment was on August 3rd. They sent me this. You are potentially eligible for the PEUC. Do I file a new claim or do I wait? Okay, so if you received your last payout for UI, next they're going to apply a PEUC extension to your claim. But that PEUC extension is only going to last you until claim week ending September 4th. So be prepared. They're going to send you out an award letter that states a much longer term and a much larger claim balance, but the program ends September 4th. So be prepared for that. This should be done and applied to your claim about 1 week after hitting 0. Then they should send you out an award letter, and 1 week after that, then you should be able to certify. Now, if your last payment was August 3rd, it sounds like they are running slow on doing this, and you might need to contact the EDD in order to have it pushed through. Okay, Kevin at 5:15. I have a balance of $800. My next certification is September 5th. Will I get my benefits? Yes, you will be able to certify for that last week, which is claim week ending September 4th. Okay, I'm at 5:18. Would you still be able to file for back pay after September 4th? So here's the thing, is that new claim, the EDD has stated PUA that has not filed a claim yet at all, applying for the first time, can apply up until October 6th. And that's not issued by the EDD says it, but it comes from the Department of Labor. So if you haven't filed yet, you can file a claim for PUA as late as October 6th, but I suggest doing it earlier. And then you can backdate that claim so that you're within the affected weeks that are available for PUA. But they don't state anywhere that you can backdate other types of claims beyond the September 4th date. I went through every Department of Labor document trying to find if regular, currently ongoing PUA claims can still backdate after September 4th, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I don't want you guys to wait to backdate until after September 4th. Why would you wait? I don't think there would be any reason to wait, because you want to make sure that you get the weeks that are owed to you before the program ends. Okay, scrolling down. I already did that one. Martin at 5:19. On June was my 12 months since I opened my claim. So they reopened my claim, which started on June 2021. I still have a balance on my claim. I'm on Tier 2 augmentation. What's next? Tier 2 augmentation is a PEUC extension. It's the third phase of PEUC extension. PEUC ends after claim week ending September 4th. So after September 4th, you'll be paid for that last week, and then the program will no longer exist. So your benefits will end at that point in time. You may potentially qualify for one last week of benefits under a Fed Ed extension if you qualify, but Fed Ed ends September 11th as well. Next, what's going to happen is if you are 12 months after your claim start date, you've reached the end of your benefit year. If you have worked and earned enough income within the last 18 months to qualify for a brand new UI claim, then once these benefits end after September 4th, then you can file for a new regular UI claim, but that's only for you if you earned enough wages. All right, it is 5:30 now, so I'm going to take just a few more questions. Hi, Scotty. Thank you for coming by. Okay, David, why are you spamming the chat with this 50 times? I'm aware of this. I have published videos on this. Okay. I got that one. 5:21. I had a negative balance from gross and net update till extension came in March and brought my account positive. but left me short on payments weeks before benefit year ended. Can I get those payments back? PUA, on the application, it states that you are required to provide your net income. And I have a video that shows the screenshot of the application the day that it was released, like within hours. So it did state net on that application. I can't say if you're going to get that overpayment waived or not, because it does state that in order to qualify for an overpayment waiver, it has to be done through no fault of your own. Additionally, on the EDD website, it does state that you're going to be required to pay that miscalculation back because you are the one that provided the income statement. So you can try to apply for an overpayment waiver and see if you are approved, but I can't tell you for certain that you will be, since that is your particular issue here. Okay, John at 521. I got 0 in amount. Been waiting on list for months. What's going on? I'm not sure what you mean. On list? I don't know what it means. If your certification didn't pay you out, then contact the EDD, and they'll tell you why. If you got $0 in an award letter, then that means that you didn't qualify to receive benefits. Okay, Richard at 521. If I just applied yesterday, will I have enough time to get my back date this weekend before the 4th? So you don't have to be paid and have your backdating processed by the 4th. You have to submit the request. So submit your request right now, today. Go to askedd.edd.ca.gov. When you submit it, take a screenshot so that you have documentation of the date and time that you submitted it, and then it will be owed to you. And yes, they can take several weeks to a few months sometimes in order to approve it and pay it out. But because you submitted it on time, as long as it's approved, then you'll be entitled to that. Okay. Jeremy at 522. What happens when I get a new job but still certify one last time? Will I get fined? Fined? Oh, I see. Sorry. Okay. So if you have a new job, you have to claim your income from that job. So when you certify, if you're still certifying, you're trying to collect a partial payment, then you will claim the amount of income that you receive. Because you're an employee, you're going to claim the amount of payment that you receive the week in which you perform the work, regardless of when you are paid. If you're self-employed, you're going to report it the week in which you receive the payment. So it's kind of backwards. So you're an employee, you have to claim that income. If you didn't claim that income, then yes, the EDD will disqualify your claim. You'll be issued overpayment penalties. So if you know that you made a mistake, then try to correct it yourself proactively by contacting the EDD and saving screenshots. All right, you guys, I'm going to do 2 last questions, and then I will be all done for the day. All right, Venice at 526. I just got notice of conditional payments. Conditional payment pending review. Is this the review for whole benefits I have received since beginning of pandemic, or is it a review for benefits after I received this notice? Okay, notice of conditional payment pending review. That means that you are stuck in pending and the EDD needs to potentially conduct an interview or receive some sort of documentation from you, but they paid your pending conditionally, on the condition that you do, in fact, provide that interview and qualify for benefits. So you are going to receive that payment, and then you're going to have to still conduct your phone interview with EDD or submit documentation later down the line. If in that phone interview or that documentation they find that you don't qualify for those benefits, then you'll have to pay it back. But that's what they're talking about, is those specific weeks that were pending. Okay, I'm going to do one last question. Shelly, I see you here. Thank you, Shelly. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, Odessa at 533. I can't file a new claim because of ID me having a hard time to verify. So since July, I'm pending. Are they still going to get paid? You cannot be paid unless you verify your ID. So no, those pendings are not going to go to paid with not verifying your ID. Now you're having trouble verifying your ID. So what you should do, if it's an ID.me verification that you're having trouble with, is go on Twitter and you're going to, this sounds stupid, but this is how you fix this problem. So please do this. You're going to go on Twitter, and if you don't have an account, make an account. You are going to tweet Blake Hall, who is the CEO. Blake Hall, B-L-A-K-E, Hall, H-A-L-L. You will see his profile on Twitter, and it says CEO of ID Me. So that's how you can confirm it's the right person. Send out a tweet, do the @ sign, and do his name, and then say, I cannot verify my identity on ID Me. I need help. And then his team will reply to you and will give you help that way. Additionally, I would contact your assembly member and let them know that you're having that problem so that they can help to document that that's the reason why and that you are making attempts to verify your ID. Okay, you guys, I am all done for the day. Rose, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Ariel, you're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, so you guys, I want to tell you something. If you... And this is the one that I see from you. Ray, I answered your question. I answered your question, Ray. I answered it. I don't know why you're saying that. Okay, and yes, I can't answer all the questions. I skip around because there are thousands of messages, you guys. Now, let me tell you something. Yesterday, I posted a video at like 9 p.m., and it's called How to Build a Website. That video has probably only about 100 comments in it. Normally, my videos have about 1,000 comments. You guys missed your opportunity to get your questions answered. I was sitting in that video when it was published, but because it was a small business topic, it got significantly lower views. But you guys, had you posted your questions in that video, the first 30 minutes or an hour even that it was published, they would have all been answered almost instantly because I was sitting there with no comments on that video. So as soon as I post a video, no matter what the content is, even if it's a different topic, post your questions in that new video. And that is the fastest way to get an answer from me. Okay. All right, you guys. I will see you next time.